Hello, this is my vocabulary project for my vocabulary strategy, so we'll jump right into it. So I would use this for 8th grade, which is the grade level that I'm hoping to teach. Usually American history is what is in that grade. The title of the text that I decided to use was The American Journey, one that I've used before, and it is a textbook for an 8th grade American history class. And the vocabulary strategy that I've decided to use is called VVWA. It's a vocabulary word, visual, word definition, and personal association. Long title, but it's a really great strategy. So as a vocabulary strategy, it has 4 parts that all work together. The vocabulary word is written, so the student can see how it's spelled, see how the word looks. And then the student also draws a visual representation of the word. They can use one that was in the textbook, or they can use something else that they've seen out in the world. With the definition, it is very important that the student writes the definition of the word from the textbook, because if they get the definition from just a dictionary, it may have a different meaning. And then the last part is that the student will write a personal association or characteristic of the word, and it can be a drawing or written text or both, and this is all done in a 2x2 box. One note that I'd like to say is that technology can help in meaning that students could make this on a computer and do really fancy fonts and pictures and all that sort of stuff, but it really doesn't provide the same hands-on approach that is really meant to go into this strategy. So my familiarity with VVWA, I was first introduced to it in Dr. Mayline's Introduction to Teaching Social Studies class, and I use it a couple times in there. And although I am familiar with this strategy already before this class, I really think it's a good and pretty simple strategy that I hope more teachers start to use. So my rationale is one that I have used before. I actually use this for my unit plan, and I decided to break it down a little bit so it would make sense for this project. So according to Pavio, who in 1986 came up with the dual coding theory, memory has 2 systems for processing information, verbal and visual. Both interconnect to allow dual coding of the information, which helps with understanding, comprehension, and retention. So, by using a graphic organizer filled with linguistic and visual examples of the vocabulary words used in instruction, students will be able to understand, comprehend, and retain those vocabulary words later in the lesson and the unit. So in the American Journey, I looked at this page and I decided to use the artifacts, which is highlighted right there so students can see that it is a vocabulary word. And I looked at the definition that was in the book, which is an item left behind by early people that represents their culture. So integrating this into a lesson is pretty simple. So you just have this blank text in the back, and so you've got the vocabulary word, artifact right there, the visual, drawing of an arrowhead, the word definition, an item left behind by early people that represents their culture, and a personal association. They could draw a picture, or they could say, my dad found an arrowhead in our backyard once. Simple like that. So this is just a blank template that I've got to use for this. So helping students to understand text, even if it's difficult, the elements provided in this strategy are linguistic, visual, and associative. So students really get to use the word, associate it with a visual representation, and then associate it to a personal association in their life. And they can take this and use it with any word in here. So archaeology, maybe the student is a fan of dinosaurs or something, and they think that archaeology, that's their association to dinosaurs, is back to archaeology. So for an assessment for this, obviously I would grade the VVWA chart, but you could also do stand-up, hand-up, pair-up quizzing. You could do table quizzing at the table, class sharing of personal associations even between groups or pairs. And then a variation on this would be to move around the classroom. The word and definition are already on paper, and students move around drawing or writing visuals and personal associations, or they could even write a definition that in their kid brain makes sense instead of using the technical definition. All right, so that has been VVWA, and I really like this strategy and I hope to use it more. Thank you.